Happy Tuesday, everybody. We are so excited to be here today. My name is Jacqueline Murphy, and I'm here with my amazing friend, Cheryl. If you guys don't know what Transformation
Be here today. My name is Jacqueline Murphy, and
sorry, I didn't close my Facebook page. If you haven't been here for Transformation Tuesday before, what it's about is I hop on Facebook Live and I interview people who have achieved really amazing success with our nutritional cleansing system. And I not only ask them questions about, kind of how they got started and what their obstacles, but I also ask about their obstacles along the way and things like that. So if you're feeling stuck in where you're at, this is a great thing to take a look at on Tuesdays. And even if you're just looking for some inspiration of people who have achieved amazing success, it's a great thing to take a look at. And if you're interested in checking out what our nutritional system can do for you, it's definitely a great thing to take a look at. So I'm just going to set up my other computer over here so that if you guys have any questions live, feel free to ask them, and I can relay those to Cheryl, and then we can make sure to get your questions answered. So if you have any questions at all, please post them. This is my friend Cheryl. She's an amazing mom of 3 kids, right? That's right, 3 kids. How old are your kids, Cheryl?
I have 2 girls and a little boy. They're 8, 6, and 3.
That's amazing. How long have you been using our nutritional cleansing system?
For about 16 months now, which blows me away because I've never been able to try and stay consistently on something for that long, and not only stay on it, but love it, and every day crave it and want it. It's pretty exciting.
And you've definitely blown things out of the water with your results. Your results are unbelievable. If you guys haven't taken a look at her transformation picture, make sure you check out my Facebook page or Cheryl's Facebook page because I posted it and tagged her in it. And you can see just how amazing her results really are.
Well, thank you, Jackie.
Of course. So I don't think I did a very good job of kind of introducing you. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and just kind of your background?
Sure, I'd love to. I'm honored. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on this. I was truly humbled when you asked me, and it's so amazing to me because this journey has been such a blessing, more than I've ever imagined before. I come from just a history of loving food, and it's always been part of celebrations, and I've never been able to be where I was comfortable in my own skin. I always had extra weight on me. And I truly came to a point in my life where I thought that's just how I was created, that I was just going to be a human being that retained more and held on to it, and I couldn't lose it easily. And it wasn't until recently that I had my children that came along in these last 8 years now, that I started to understand that I needed to be healthy so that I could be around for them. And I wasn't feeling healthy. My clothes didn't fit right. I certainly was going to doctors for joint discomfort, back discomfort, paying money for specialists and for medicine to try and help me. And I just knew something wasn't right. And it was when I went to a doctor's physical, an annual physical, and she took my blood work and she said, I need to see you back in 6 months. And I was scared. I was scared of what she would diagnose me with, what was my future if I didn't change. And I knew that although I kept telling myself I could do it on my own, and I just, nothing had helped me in the past that was sustainable. And I knew getting up towards my 40s now that I wanted to find something that was healthy, sustainable, that I loved. And I reached out to my friend Beth and my friend Carla, who both introduced me to this nutritional system. And I said, I have seen your results. Tell me more. I was very skeptical though. I was very I've done programs, I've done systems, but tell me, possibly, can you give me hope? And Beth said to me, just try it. Put it in your body. See how you feel. Just try it. And it was a blind faith, trust, out of a moment of desperation that I said yes. My birthday is in June. And in May, I begged my husband and I said, there is nothing that you could wrap up for me and give me for my birthday that I want more than to feel healthy again, to play with my children, We were talking about buying a new bed because my bed, I would get up in the morning and I'd have aches and pains and I thought it was the mattress. Now, 16 months later, I am 55 pounds lighter. My discomfort is gone and we still have the same bed. I'm sitting on it. Like it's amazing to me that I have come so far, that the food tastes phenomenal. I want it every day, sometimes over the traditional food I used to have for breakfast. And so there's nothing I want more. There's nothing that gives me the feeling of freedom, excitement, energy. I had to buy new clothes because my clothes didn't fit anymore. They were too baggy. My belts, I can have like the smallest notch on them. And even this past weekend, I won a t-shirt at this fair and they said, what size do you want? And it still blows my mind that I was like, large, extra large, wait a minute. And they handed me a small. It's been such a transformation and I have all of this to thank for that. That and the team support has just been phenomenal. So that's a little bit about my journey.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I love that. My favorite thing about this, about being in this company and these products, is that they bring people together. And like you and I probably wouldn't even know each other if it wasn't for this company. And one of the things that's really crazy is we have talked to each other before, but I've never actually heard your story. So this is the first time that I'm also hearing your story. And our stories are very similar. I was extremely, in parts of our stories are similar. I was extremely uncomfortable in my own skin. I had extremely low self-esteem. So I know exactly what kind of place you're coming from at that point. And it's really done amazing things for me as well from that standpoint. And I love that you share that non-skill victory about picking out them handing you a small shirt. That's so exciting, Cheryl. That is awesome. Yeah. So you've kind of talked a little bit about the thing that really made you decide to change, going to the doctor and her wanting to see you back in 6 months. You really wanted to take your health to the next level. Mm-hmm. So what, along your journey for these past 16 months, what would you say the most challenging thing along the way was?
That's a really good question. The system is not hard. When people say, oh, I think it's going to be too challenging, or it's not really as easy as people say it is. It is so easy. It is one of the easiest things I've ever done. So the system itself is not the challenge. It was me. It was getting out of my own head, stopping the repetitive negative talk that I had, or this is going to fail again. This is just going to be another thing that's going to be disappointment, and to prove to me that I can't do it, that I can't achieve results or be as healthy as other people. And so it's what I would say, what makes this different, because that's the question, right? What makes this one so different? Besides the amazing flavor, besides the incredible convenience of it all, is the fact that there is a community tied with this company that is unlike anything I've seen. Even the customer service is phenomenal, but I'm not talking about that from corporate. I'm talking about the community of women and men that we're surrounded with, that lift each other up, cheer each other on, encourage each other during the hard days, but also during your triumphs and joys that you want to celebrate and share. We really are there for each other. And if it wasn't for that, I think I wouldn't have stuck with it, because I got in my own way. And it was around this time last year where I had only been on the system for about, let's do the math, like four months or so. And I had hit a plateau in weight loss. And I was very pleased with how far I had come, farther than I thought I would in the beginning. But then I was like, oh, here it is. Here's the part where it's going to stop working for me. And I had started that negative talk, and I had started thinking that, all right, this is it. This is where I'll stop. The holidays hit. And my favorite, I tell this to a lot of people, actually. I share this to a lot of people that are interested in trying it. I said, the magic happened in January when, the New Year's resolutions start coming out and they start cheering you on to start again. New year, new fresh habits. And on January 1st, I was like, okay, I'm going to jump back on the system and do it and try and work off some of those holiday goodies. And so it was really, let's be honest, like January 4th, because there were still leftovers in the house. So January 4th, I was like, all right, I'm in. because our amazing team leader was running this challenge, and it was a points and accountability challenge, and it was very appealing to me. And I was like, I have nothing to lose. Let's try this. And I jumped on board, and I not only blew past the plateau I was at in the fall, but I dropped even more weight. I felt healthier, and by the end of the challenge, walked away as the first prize winner. I won the accountability challenge in January. If it was not for this company, the community, I would have gotten in my own way. This is something that is a blessing and a gift that is not in every nutrition program or system. I'm truly, truly grateful.
You just gave me goosebumps. Congratulations, Cheryl. That's amazing. That's unbelievable. So you've lost a total of 55 pounds, right, using our system. That's unbelievable. Like, that is so amazing. And I didn't, it's funny, but I didn't realize you had won your team challenge. Like, I know that you guys are running that challenge, but I didn't know you won. Congratulations. It's so exciting.
And I would have told you at the beginning, oh, I don't have a chance. It probably won't be me. I'll be happy for the winner. That is one thing that's great, is you never know. You never know where this is going to take you. And one thing I failed to share earlier is that I've had my annual physical since, and my doctor's like, what are you doing? What program? What, and I was like, well, I'm on this system. And I started sharing with her a little bit about it. And she said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Because she had my numbers from last year, and she saw, like, what can I say? I mean, I'm sold. I'm sold.
That's amazing. That's so awesome. So I know I gave you some questions ahead of time, but I have another question that's a little bit different than what we talked about earlier. So you said that one of your biggest obstacles was yourself, you getting in the way of, what you personally wanted to achieve. So would you say that this company and this community helped you from like a personal development standpoint kind of move past those roadblocks a little bit, so that you could put not so much just positive thinking, but you could put into action real things that could help keep you accountable so that you can stay on track?
Yes, in so many ways, not just in the foods I was choosing and the nutritional choices or the exercise that I was choosing to forego on some days or choosing to do on some days, but even in personal relationships and everything. I've learned, someone in this company said, learn to say yes to more things. I remember it was an event. It was an event we went to, and they said, you were there too. And they said, say yes and see where it takes you. And I think even that little nugget has taken me so far in this journey and in personal development. And I mean, that's something that is that I'm grateful for. And also the openness of mind and heart to be willing to grow and try new things, whether it's nutrition or new experiences and such. Again, it goes back to the quality of community, the quality of leadership that attracts the men and women that are attracted to this. They're quality people. They love others. They want to help others. They have a commitment to each other. They have made a commitment to themselves to try and be better every day, to work harder, to be able to accept the disappointments in stride and to keep going anyway. That is admirable, to be able to watch that kind of leadership and then try to do that yourself. So I'm really motivated. It's a motivating place to be.
I love that, because you actually answered my next question, because I was going to ask you, has that manifested in other areas of your life? And it has.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
It's amazing what just the community that we have, just being in it, what it can do for you. I think that that's something that goes untalked about a lot of times, and it's really so important, especially for you to be successful in what you're doing. So we talked about, your obstacles. We talked about personal development a little bit. What do you think were the keys? Well, we talked about that, I guess. We talked about what the keys to your success were, right? Like immersing yourself in that community.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I share with a lot of new teammates and such. I say the people who are the most successful are the people who reach out and ask questions or look for support, or they text me and say, I'm struggling in this way. man, when I get a text like that, I jump on it and I'm like, well, have you tried this? I ask questions because I truly want to help them have the best experience. And what is so wonderful about this system is that it's very customizable. So we just have to take those first 30 days to walk with them and treat it a little bit like an experimental time of like what works best for your body. When do you get the best results? And if they can work with you, be coachable, and be open to that, then man, they are always so excited about their results. It's really neat.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I think that's great. I think the other thing that's important is a lot of times people think that they sign up for something and that they're not going to get the support that they need. But with this, you get so much support, which you kind of touched on a lot. I'm looking at so my next question is where do you see yourself with our company in the next 5 years?
That is a good question. I'm so glad you sent me that one because I had to think about that for a little bit. I was like, gosh, in 5 years, Jacqueline, I couldn't tell you 8 months ago that I would be here, sitting here talking to you, being interviewed about the success that we've had, that we've experienced. So 5 years from now is probably beyond my imagination. But I can say for sure, I see myself confident and comfortable with this company, with this nutrition. There are so many resources to explore, between all the podcasts, all the trainings, all the events, all the websites out there to explore. The Facebook support group pages, all those things are resources that I think I've just scratched the surface of, honestly, of the depth of information and support that's out there. And the more people I speak with, I am truly honored and humbled. Some people open up and share very deep and personal health struggles, things that I have had that I can relate to and help, and things that I haven't. And when we bump up against those health struggles that you're not as familiar with, you haven't walked that road yourself, my goodness, how much of a blessing is it to say, guess what? There is a support page just for you, and people with this exact thing that they have incorporated this system into their lives, and it's showing a positive difference in some way. It's so neat to be able to plug them in there, and then I plug in too, so I can learn more about it. But I think that's my answer is that in 5 years, I would love to be more comfortable and confident with all that's out there. It's just going to take time to learn it all and to have those experiences and to gain that wisdom in time. But no, I'm here. I'll be here in 5 years. Hopefully we'll be interviewing other people who are having very similar exciting experiences.
Yes, as our teams grow. I think that's awesome. I love that. I think that's a great answer. So I just had my question and I lost it. What was I going to ask?
Those are good questions.
Do you believe that anybody is capable of achieving the success that you've achieved?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. I think that if you are coachable, if you're willing to put in the time to watch a few videos and ask questions when you're confused, yes, you will go far in this industry. A personal story is I went to this jewelry party of a very sweet friend of mine who's now an Isagenix product user. And one of the things that I said to her on that party is I was like, oh, I think you would do so amazing. You would do wonderful and all this stuff. But let's call a friend and talk to them about this. And one of the things that is a great resource is that there's 3-way calls. So if I don't know the answer and I can't answer at this party that we're at, there is a team out there that is willing to talk on the phone with that person too. So it's not just websites, it's not just podcasts and stuff. It's the team supports each other and says, yeah, let's get on a call. Let's talk to someone who's maybe had this experience before. And that's, I think, my favorite part too, is that I don't have to be the expert in everything. That you don't have to be a nutritionist, you don't have to be a dietitian or have a degree in nutrition to be able to go far in this. It's being willing to reach out and use the support and the team around you. It's beautiful.
Right. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. I love that. So I have one more question, and I know I didn't send you this one ahead of time. But what piece of advice could you leave us with for someone who might be watching this, who's maybe struggling a little bit with where they're at, or maybe they're in a down place? I always like to ask this question because I feel like a lot of the answers inspire a lot of people, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I like doing these, is because I want people to feel inspired. I want them to feel good about themselves, about where they're at, and then where they're going. So what's one thing that you could leave someone with who's struggling a little bit now, whether it's, with their weight or with their personal development, or, with anything?
Gosh, that's such a good question. I have to put myself back into that position to answer it well. Like, what would have helped me if I was stuck in that plateau, if I was stuck back there, if I was stuck business building, and I'm like, I don't know if this is something that I'm invested in and such. And I think what helps me the most is the fact that when I look at my children, when I look at my why, and I remind myself of our future and how far I've come. Jacqueline, to be honest with you, if this wasn't in our lives, what would be in place of it? And I really try and think about what would it look like if I were to stop cold turkey tomorrow. And there is nothing as appealing as what this system, this company, this program, this community has offered us in the last, for me, it's been 16 months. I know it's been so much longer for you. I just can't imagine. It has brought so much joy, hope, certainly love and encouragement, and stories, so many stories of sweet friends who had similar struggles or even medical struggles, who now have said things like, Cheryl, you've saved my life, or Cheryl, you've helped me turn this around, or like, what would I replace it with? What would I, so there's things like that encourage me to keep going, because if it mattered to that one, what if I stopped sharing today? What if this other person who is praying for this solution, I chicken out, or I don't share, or I don't say? It can mean a difference between,
Being where you were and being where you are now. It can mean 55 pounds. It can mean a lot, and that's a really big deal. So thank you so much for sharing that, Cheryl. I'm so happy that you were able to hop on with me tonight. I hope that at least one person finds value out of this. I mean, I have already found so much value out of this. So thank you so, so much. I appreciate it. It's been great hearing your story.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I really appreciate you inviting me to come on. I'm truly honored, and I'm so proud of you. You very much inspire me. Just your grace. You're very graceful. You're very kind, easy to talk to, and I know you're doing amazing as well. So congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. I love that. Thank you so much. That was an amazing compliment. I really appreciate it a lot. I was so happy when you said yes, because I think I was looking at your transformation picture the other day, and I just thought this would be so much fun. And I love doing it with people who I haven't heard their stories, because then like I learn from it too. So it's a lot of fun.
Yay, good.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing Tuesday night. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I will be back on Friday with a really unbelievable entrepreneur that you won't want to miss. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.